With the state billions of dollars in debt, I wanted to take a look at what that number actually looks like. As you can see here, I took our state's assets and subtracted that from our total liabilities. That gives us our unfunded liability, or the bills we can't pay. As you can see here, that's roughly $194 billion. We're under a winter storm warning until at least Sunday morning. I want to give you an idea of how quickly this is coming down. If you look down here, when we first got here about an hour ago, the snow is barely making any headroom on my tape measure. Now is over half an inch, and to keep in mind, we could see up to 10 inches, so we still have quite a ways to go. I want to show you this barn behind me. As you can see, it's just completely destroyed. Now, the folks that live here say this happened around 9:50 last night. They also lost power. Now, to give you an idea of just how cold it is, good news, if you don't have a sled, you can make one. Down here, I've actually made a frozen towel. So what I did, I wrung this towel up with water, and as you can see now, it's frozen solid, more like a sled. John, right here in my hand, I have the court documents showing the 2 counts of DUI being brought against Police Chief Wesley Helmick. Now, we've been reaching out to the mayor for weeks trying to get an update on his employment status. We'll take a look at just this one street corner. Everything from the linemen who work on these poles to the people who build these houses and roads are all examples of jobs that currently need more workers. Tonight, the Committee of the Whole debated an ordinance that would ban the homeless from sleeping on these benches outside the library overnight. However, one major concern brought up is that we'll only move the problem a few steps away over here to the Sangamon County complex. Well, here in Edinburgh, you can see just some of the damage this tornado left behind. Here you can see where pipes were literally torn out of the ground. Over here you can see the corn now as it lays flat from the wind, as well as trees that have literally been snapped in half. Well, that officer right now is recovering from a concussion. He is expected to be okay, but it's unclear when exactly he'll be able to return to work. Now, I'm here at 13th and Cass on Springfield's east side. Right over here is where things got out of hand early Sunday morning. Police say they've noticed more and more of these pop-up block parties taking place, something they say needs to end. Well, today the new Planned Parenthood clinic opened its doors to patients officially. We've seen protesters on and off throughout the day. Now, this center will serve as an abortion hub for the Midwest, performing abortions up to 24 weeks.
Today with a free ultrasound.
After more than a year in the making, the Fairview Heights Planned Parenthood is now open. For some, the work is personal.
As a person who's had an abortion in the past and had easy access to that when I desperately needed it, it pains me to see women have to drive 8 hours round trip to receive access to basic human health care.
People on the other side of the fence showed up for different reasons.
We're out here not only to help the woman, the mother, but we're also here to help and be a voice for the voiceless.
The new clinic is equipped to serve roughly 11,000 patients a year, offering abortions up to 24 weeks with no wait period. But not everyone who walks through the doors is seeking an abortion.
Prevention education and consent education and sex education and things like that, that as a mom of one and a soon-to-be mom of two, are things that are really, really important to me.
People on both sides of the gate say they're here to stay. What would you tell women coming up to the clinic right now?
You're not alone, and I can't wait for you to get in the gates and feel my warm embrace, because it will always be there for you.
We asked the clinic how many patients they saw today. They didn't want to give us an exact number. However, they say all of their appointments were booked. From Fairview Heights, I'm Nikki McGee. Back to you. On Monday, a 19-year-old was able to board a school bus, get dropped off here at Franklin Middle School, and make his way all the way to the cafeteria. Now, this afternoon, I got my hands on this police report that describes how a student was punched several times. So we asked, do security measures need to be changed? The district said security and safety of our students continues to be a top priority. We then wanted to know if the district was satisfied with the way First Student Bus Company was handling security. We got pretty much the same statement, saying they've reviewed the incident with First Student, and student safety continues to be a shared priority. So we went the rest of the day calling elected school board members for their views on the Franklin Middle School situation. As of right now, we've only heard back from Micah Miller, who said he could not comment because of pending teacher contracts. Well, we wanted to know the district's stance on school bus security when it comes to First Student, which is the company they have contracted. Since Tuesday, we've been trying to sit down with school board members and the superintendent to get their take on the situation. Today, we finally got a chance to ask the superintendent our questions. Any more the district needs to do as far as security, though, with first student?
We don't really, that's not really our role. They have their own security measures, and we talk about it in our contract, and we've been in conversation with them all along, and I think that if you talk to them, they could tell you about the things that they've done on their end.
First Student tells us they have removed the driver of that school bus while they investigate this situation with the school district. Now, immediately after our interview, once our cameras had stopped rolling, Jennifer Gill told me to try to monitor 800 kids walking to a school building. She then proceeded to tell me that even I could walk into Franklin Middle School. Live from Springfield, I'm Nikki McGee. Back to you. Here in my hand, I have a copy of the letter sent out to participants letting them know that come July 1st, they would no longer be getting paid. Now, this comes 7 months before the first minimum wage increase is set to take effect, and now some are questioning why. Meet Nicholas Braun. He struggles with autism, cerebral palsy, and Tourette's. For the last 6 years, he's worked at Goodwill as part of their vocational rehabilitation program, which gives jobs to the disabled.
And I love Goodwill, you know. I like the people there, and, you know, it was a good atmosphere for me.
A job his mom says gave him purpose.
I saw him grow in ways that he could not have grown otherwise. I saw him become a self-sufficient adult.
But July 1st, that position came to an end. Goodwill says they can no longer afford to pay these workers due to the new minimum wage, which starts going up in increments beginning in January.
I use the excuse of it going to $15. Well, that's not until the year 2025. So I really don't see how that affected him.
By making the changes now, we can start offsetting the expense that we're incurring, not only through Voc Rehab, but the other things that we're doing in the organization.
Participants can still come in without pay for developmental learning activities. But so far, Nicholas says that's consisted of drawing and working on math problems.
I'd rather be working, making my money like I used to do.
Goodwill's president says they are still working to improve those programs as part of this transition.
It is a change, but the blessing to all of this is that we're keeping the doors open to still provide the service.
I cried about it. It's like, I don't understand why they're doing this, you know?
For people like Nicholas, partially they relied on this program to help get them to and from work by providing transportation. They say finding that in another job will be hard to do. Live from Springfield, I'm Nikki McGee. Back to you.